Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at renewable energy.
Ooh, fun.
And I thought, I was up to date on this stuff, but this UN report
Yeah.
that we're going through today is pretty amazing.
It's a good one.
I mean, did you know that for most of the world, going green is actually cheaper than sticking with fossil fuels?
Yeah, cheaper and creates 3 times the jobs.
Yeah, that's wild. So,
Whiz.
we're working with this UN report as our main source today, and
It connects the dots really well.
it really does.
Yeah. Climate action, economic growth, quality of life,
Yeah.
all that stuff. It
Yeah.
lays it out in a way that you just can't ignore.
Really brings it home.
Yeah.
And makes it kind of impossible to ignore.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so before we get too deep into, all the good stuff,
Sure.
let's back up for a sec and remind ourselves
Mm-hmm.
of the problem we're trying to solve.
Right.
Climate change is a big deal. We all know that.
For sure.
But, what's the role that our energy production plays in all of this?
Well, the energy sector is the main contributor to greenhouse gas emissions.
Okay.
Like over 75% of the global total
Wow.
from our reliance on fossil fuels.
So that's, coal, oil, gas.
Exactly.
The usual suspect.
Yeah, usual suspects.
And that represents almost 90% of all carbon dioxide emissions.
Yeah, it's huge.
So something's got to change.
Absolutely. And the UN has set this goal of cutting those emissions
Okay.
by almost half by 2030
Wow.
and reaching net zero by 2050.
Okay, so net zero.
Net zero basically means that we're taking out the same amount of greenhouse gases as we're putting in.
I see.
So we're striking a balance. We stop contributing to the problem.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, ambitious is right.
It is.
But how do we get there?
That's where renewable energy comes in.
Okay, so what are we talking about here?
Harnessing the power of the sun, the wind, water, even waste, and the Earth's heat.
Wow.
All naturally replenished, emitting little to no greenhouse gases.
So nature has already given us all the answers.
Pretty much. We just got to
Okay.
use them.
But are these sources available everywhere?
That's the thing that surprised me in the report.
Okay.
They're available pretty much everywhere.
Wow.
It flips the script on fossil fuels because right now, over 80% of the global population
Right.
lives in countries that have to import fossil fuels,
Oh, wow.
making them vulnerable to all sorts of things. Price fluctuation,
Right.
global issues.
So this would make countries more self-sufficient then.
Exactly.
Okay.
But more resilient.
Right. I was going to say more resilient,
Yeah.
more stable. I know some people are skeptical.
Sure.
When it comes to renewables, they think it's too expensive or not reliable.
Yeah, that comes up a lot.
How does the report address these concerns?
Well, it gives 5 really good reasons why embracing renewable energy is essential,
Okay.
and cost is one of them.
Okay.
You might be surprised to hear that in most of the world, renewable energy is already the cheapest option.
Really? See, this is what I mean.
I know.
This report is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
It's full of surprises.
It's got lots of good stuff.
So many people still think that it's,
Yeah.
too experimental and too expensive.
That's an old perception.
Okay.
The reality is the cost of solar and wind has dropped like crazy in the past decade,
Wow.
making them more affordable than fossil fuels in many cases.
So cheaper than fossil fuels and better for the planet.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Let's dive into those 5 reasons.
Okay, let's do it.
This is where it gets really interesting. What's the first one?
Availability.
Okay.
Having access to those abundant renewable resources right there in your country
Right.
really changes the game
I can imagine.
when it comes to energy security and stability.
Yeah.
And that can have a big impact on a country's economic well-being.
Right. Yeah. So why be at the mercy of these international energy markets
Exactly.
if you can generate clean, affordable power at home?
Makes sense, right?
It does. What's the next reason?
This is a big one that people don't think about a lot.
Okay.
Health benefits of renewable energy.
Right, because burning fossil fuels isn't exactly known for its clean air.
No, not really. The World Health Organization has all this data
Oh, gosh.
on the health impacts of fossil fuel pollution,
Yeah.
linking it to everything from respiratory illnesses
Mm.
to cardiovascular disease and even cancer.
It's scary to think that something we need for energy is making us sick.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
So switching to clean energy would reduce these problems,
Really?
leading to a healthier population.
Exactly. A healthier population and fewer health care costs.
Okay.
The report even says that in 2018, air pollution from fossil fuels cost the world $2.9 trillion.
Wow.
That's $8 billion every single day.
Wow.
Imagine what we could do with that money.
Yeah, if we weren't, cleaning up the mess of fossil fuels.
Yep.
So we have availability, cost, health. What's next?
This is a big one, job creation. This is
Uh,
one that worries people.
yeah, because people are worried about losing jobs.
Right. They think transitioning away from fossil fuels will mean job losses. But the report says that every dollar invested in renewables creates 3 times more jobs.
3 times more. Wow, that's incredible.
It is.
Where are all these new jobs coming from?
They're all across the renewable energy sector.
Yeah.
Manufacturing installation,
Uh-huh.
maintenance research.
Okay.
And it's not just those core areas either.
Oh,
Like finance and consulting are seeing huge demand increases as well.
so it's not just about creating more jobs. It's creating entirely new industries
Exactly.
and opportunities
Mm-hmm.
while we're tackling climate change.
That's pretty amazing.
Okay, so 4 down, 1 to go. What's the final reason?
Renewable energy makes good economic sense,
Okay.
both short-term and long-term.
But what about those upfront costs?
Yeah, that's where things get interesting. The report sheds light on the hidden costs of our current system.
Okay.
In 2022 alone, the world spent $7 trillion subsidizing the fossil fuel industry.
7 trillion.
Wow.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money propping up the problem.
Exactly. And the crazy part is,
Yeah. We only need to invest about $4.5 trillion annually in renewables
okay,
to reach net zero by 2050.
so we're throwing money at the problem
Pretty much.
when we could be investing in the solution.
Exactly. And when you consider all the long-term benefits,
Okay.
reduced healthcare costs from cleaner air,
Right,
increased energy security,
Right.
a more stable energy market.
Right. Less susceptible to price shocks and things like that.
Exactly. The economic argument is kind of impossible to ignore.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're at a turning point,
It does feel that way.
not just for the planet, but for our economies too.
For sure.
And this brings me to something else that I thought was really cool in the report.
Okay.
All the real-world examples of places that are already thriving with renewable energy.
Yeah. Those are always inspiring.
It's one thing to talk about, the potential, but to
Yeah.
see those success stories is amazing.
Yeah, it makes it real.
Yeah, it does. It makes it real. There are so many good examples in this report.
There are.
It's hard to even choose.
I know.
Just to give you a taste, this small island nation of Tokelau
Oh, yeah.
in the Pacific Ocean is now completely powered by solar energy.
100% solar.
A whole island
It's amazing.
running on sunshine. That's like a futuristic novel,
It is.
but it's happening now.
Yeah.
What about larger countries?
Oh, yeah, Costa Rica.
Okay.
They've been generating almost 100% of their electricity from renewables for several years.
Well,
Mostly hydro, geothermal, and wind.
so they're a good example of what's possible on a national scale?
Exactly.
That's impressive. It shows that it's achievable.
It does.
What about some examples that highlight how diverse these sources can be?
Denmark.
Okay.
They're a global leader in wind energy,
Okay.
generating over half of their electricity from wind turbines.
Wow.
They've really embraced wind power.
So we have islands going solar, countries powered by volcanoes and waterfalls,
Yeah.
and nations harnessing the power of the wind.
Yeah, it's happening.
It feels like a massive energy revolution is on the horizon.
It does.
But like any revolution, I'm sure there are some challenges.
Oh, for sure.
What does the report say about these challenges?
Well, one of the biggest is scaling up production and infrastructure.
Okay.
We need a lot of investment to build out things like solar farms,
Yeah.
wind farms, energy storage systems.
To meet this growing demand.
Exactly.
So it's one thing to have the technology,
Right.
but we need the capacity to actually deploy it on a large scale.
Exactly.
Okay, what else? What other challenges?
Modernizing our electricity grids.
Okay.
The way our grids are set up right now is based on this idea of centralized power generation,
Okay.
where big power plants are sending electricity over long distances,
Right.
but renewables are often decentralized
I see.
and intermittent.
So the sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow.
Exactly. So we need a smarter grid.
A more flexible grid
Exactly.
that can adapt to the changes in energy supply.
It's exactly a grid that can balance supply and demand,
Right.
integrate energy storage,
Mm-hmm.
and manage all these distributed energy resources.
Like rooftop solar panels.
Yeah, things like that.
So this sounds like a pretty massive undertaking.
It is.
I'm guessing it's not just about technology, though, right?
Got it.
There are some political and economic challenges as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are powerful interests in the fossil fuel industry
Right.
that probably don't want to see this change.
Of course.
And we also need government policies that incentivize
Yeah,
the adoption of these new technologies
absolutely.
and, support the development of a skilled workforce.
Right. We need people who know how to do this stuff.
Exactly.
Uh,
So this is going to take a concerted effort
it will.
from governments, businesses,
Mm-hmm.
individuals
Yeah, everyone's got to be on board.
to make this transition happen.
For sure.
But I have to believe that as more people
Yeah.
understand the urgency of climate change
Right.
and see the potential of renewable energy, there will be more pressure on our leaders
I hope so.
to do the right thing
Yeah.
because public awareness and consumer demand,
Those are powerful
they
forces.
really are.
Yeah.
So the more people understand the benefits,
Right.
the more they will demand these solutions.
Mm-hmm. From their elected officials and the businesses they support.
Right. It's all about raising awareness,
It is.
educating people about the possibilities. I mean,
For sure.
this report is a great example
It is.
of laying out all the facts,
Yeah.
but we also need to tell the stories
Right.
of those who are already benefiting from renewable energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to show that it's real.
Make it real.
Yeah.
Because this isn't just a pipe dream.
No,
This is a reality that's happening right now.
it's happening.
So we need to show people the tangible benefits.
Yeah.
Cleaner air,
Yeah.
healthier communities, new job opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
a more stable and sustainable economy.
All of that.
Paint a picture
Exactly.
of a future that people can get excited about.
Yeah, a future where we're not just mitigating the effects of climate change, but thriving
Yeah.
in a world powered by clean,
Yeah.
abundant, sustainable energy.
It sounds amazing.
It does.
And I think this report does a great job of outlining that vision.
I think so too.
It's a call to action, but it's also a roadmap for a better future.
I agree.
It's like we've been given this blueprint
Yeah.
for a better world
Mm-hmm.
and all the tools we need
We just got to use them.
to build it.
Yeah.
Now we just have to take that blueprint and make it a reality.
We do.
After going through this report, I'm feeling really optimistic.
Me too.
There we go.
Absolutely. There's this momentum building
Yeah.
around renewable energy.
Yeah,
And the more we learn about the potential, the more hopeful I am for the future.
me too. But, as we move towards this future,
Yeah.
it's not just about the big picture.
Right.
There are things that we can do in our own lives
Yeah, absolutely.
to be a part of the solution. What does the report say that individuals can do to support this growth?
Well, the report talks about how individual actions multiplied across communities can have a huge impact.
Okay.
It could be something as simple as switching out your old appliances
Okay.
for energy-efficient ones,
Right.
cutting back on single-use plastics, or
Yeah.
choosing to walk, bike, or take public transit
Okay.
whenever possible.
Those are great everyday changes that most people can do
Yeah.
without too much disruption to their routines.
Exactly.
But what about people who want to make a bigger impact?
There are so many ways to do more,
Okay.
like supporting businesses and organizations that prioritize sustainability
Okay.
and advocating for policies that promote renewable energy and climate action.
Right.
You can even explore investing in renewable energy projects yourself.
It's cool to see how accessible this is becoming.
It is?
I know a lot of electricity providers offer renewable energy plans now.
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose to power your home
Yeah.
with clean energy. It's going mainstream.
It's becoming more and more common.
It's really cool.
It is.
And, don't underestimate the power of talking about these issues.
Oh, yeah. Spread the word.
Sharing what we're learning
Yeah.
with our friends, with our family,
Mm-hmm. Get people talking.
on social media. Raising awareness is key.
Absolutely. The more we talk about it,
Yeah.
the more it becomes a part of the conversation and
Yeah.
part of the solution.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
That's it.
Or in this case, talk about the change you want to see in the world.
I like that.
We need to normalize these conversations
They do.
about climate change and renewable energy.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a niche topic.
It affects all of us.
It affects us all.
Yeah,
We all have a role to play
we do.
in creating a more sustainable future.
For sure.
And that brings us to the end of part 1
Okay.
of our deep dive into renewable energy.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us for part 1.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We'll see you back here soon for part 2.
See you then.
So it really does feel like
Yeah.
we're at a turning point,
It does.
not just for the planet,
Okay.
but for our economies too.
Right.
And that brings me to something else that really stood out to me in the report.
Okay.
The real world examples
Oh, yeah.
of places that are already thriving with renewable energy.
Yeah, those are so cool.
It's one thing to talk about the potential,
Right.
But seeing it in action is so inspiring.
It makes it real.
Yeah, it makes it real. There's so many amazing examples in the report.
There are.
Like, it's hard to even choose, but
I know.
just to give you a taste, the small island nation of
Tokelau, yeah.
in the Pacific Ocean is now completely powered by solar energy.
That's right, 100%.
A whole island running on sunshine.
Amazing.
It sounds like something out of a futuristic novel.
I know, right?
But it's happening now.
It's happening.
So what about larger countries?
Larger countries, yeah. Costa Rica
Okay.
has been generating almost 100% of its electricity from renewable sources
Wow.
for several years now.
Yeah.
Mostly hydro, geothermal, and wind power.
Okay, so they've become a model for what's possible,
They have.
even on a national scale.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
It shows that it is achievable.
Right. It's not just a pipe dream.
Yeah. Are there other examples that
Uh-oh.
really highlight, the diversity of renewable energy sources?
Sure. Denmark
Okay.
has become a global leader in wind energy.
Yeah.
They generate over half of their electricity from wind turbines.
Wow.
They've really embraced it.
So we have islands going solar countries powered by volcanoes and waterfalls and nations harnessing the power of the wind.
It's incredible.
It's happening everywhere.
It is.
It feels like a
Yeah.
massive energy revolution is on the horizon.
It does feel that way.
But like any revolution,
Sure.
there must be challenges.
Of course.
What does the report say about the obstacles to a full-scale transition?
Well, one of the biggest is scaling up production and infrastructure.
Okay, so we need to
Right. We need a massive investment.
build out solar farms, wind farms,
Yeah, all of that.
energy storage systems
Mhm.
to meet this growing demand.
We need to be able to keep up with demand.
So it's one thing to have the technology,
Right.
but we need to have the capacity to actually deploy it
Exactly.
on a massive scale.
We do.
What other challenges does the report highlight?
Another big one is modernizing our electricity grids.
Okay, so right now,
Right now, our grids are set up for centralized power generation,
okay,
with big power plants, sending electricity over long distances.
yeah,
But renewables are often more decentralized
right.
and intermittent.
So the sun doesn't always shine,
Right, and the wind doesn't always blow.
and the wind doesn't always blow.
Exactly. So we
Okay.
need a smarter grid.
Okay, a more flexible grid.
Yeah, a grid that can adapt
Right.
to the changes in energy supply.
Okay.
So it needs to be able to balance supply and demand,
Right.
integrate energy storage,
Okay.
manage all these distributed energy resources.
Like rooftop solar.
Yeah, things like that.
Okay, so this sounds like a pretty massive undertaking.
It is a big job.
And I'm guessing it's not just about technology.
Right. There are political and economic challenges, too.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
the fossil fuel industry.
They have a lot of power.
They have a lot of power, and they probably don't want to see things change.
They're going to resist.
And we need
government policies.
government policies to incentivize
Yeah,
the adoption of these new technologies.
absolutely.
Support the development of a skilled workforce.
Right. People who know how to do this stuff.
We need people who know how to actually work with all this.
Exactly.
So it's going to take
a group effort.
a concerted effort from everybody.
It's going to take everybody working together.
Governments, businesses, individuals,
All of us,
to make this transition happen.
for sure.
But I have to believe that as more people understand the urgency
Yeah.
of climate change
Yeah.
and the potential of renewable energy,
Right.
that there will be more pressure on our leaders to make the right decisions.
I hope so.
Because public awareness and consumer demand,
Those are powerful forces.
they're really powerful forces for change.
They are.
The more people understand the benefits, the more they'll demand these solutions.
Yeah, from their elected officials and the businesses they support.
So it's all about raising awareness,
It is.
educating people
Telling the stories.
about the possibility,
Yes.
showing people that it works.
And this report is a great example of that,
It is.
laying out the facts.
Mm-hmm.
But we also need to tell the stories of those who are already benefiting.
Make it real for people.
Yeah, we need to make it real because it's not a pipe dream.
No,
This is happening right now.
it's happening.
And we need to show people those tangible benefits.
Yeah, the cleaner air.
The cleaner air, the healthier communities, the new job opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
a more stable and sustainable economy.
All of that good stuff.
Paint a picture.
Yeah.
Paint a picture.
Of a future
A future we can get excited about.
that people can get excited about.
All right.
Where we're not just mitigating the effects of climate change.
Right.
We're thriving
You're thriving. Yeah.
in a world powered by clean,
Clean.
abundant, and sustainable energy.
I love it.
It sounds pretty good.
It does sound good.
I think this report does a great job
I think so too.
of outlining that vision.
It lays it all out there.
It's a call to action,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a roadmap to a better future.
It is.
It's like we've been given this blueprint
Yeah, a blueprint for a better world.
for a better world and all the tools
Yeah, all the tools we
to
need.
build it.
We just got to use them.
We just have to take that blueprint and make it a reality.
We do.
And after going through this report, I'm feeling very optimistic.
Me too.
How about you?
Yeah, very optimistic. There's this momentum
Yeah,
building around renewable energy.
I feel it too.
The more I learn about the potential, the more hopeful I am.
Me too.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
as we move toward this future,
Mhm.
it's not just about the big picture,
Yeah, it's about what we do individually.
right? There are things that we can do in our own lives
Absolutely.
to be part of the solution.
Every little bit helps.
What does the report say about what individuals can do?
Well, it talks about how individual actions multiplied across communities can make a big difference.
Okay.
It could be as simple as, switching out your old appliances for energy-efficient ones,
Okay.
cutting back on single-use plastics, choosing to walk, bike, or take public transit whenever you can.
Those are great everyday changes
Yeah, things we can all do.
that most people can make without too much disruption to
Exactly.
their routine.
Easy changes.
What about people who want to do more?
Well, there's a lot you can do.
Okay.
You can support businesses and organizations that are prioritizing sustainability.
Okay.
You can advocate for policies
Right.
that promote renewable energy and climate action.
Okay.
You could even look into investing in renewable energy projects.
It is really cool to see how accessible this is all becoming.
Yes.
I know a lot of electricity providers offer renewable energy plans now.
They do.
So you can literally choose to power your home
Yeah. Choose to go green.
with clean energy.
That's right.
It's becoming mainstream,
More and more common all the time.
which is awesome.
It is.
And don't underestimate the power of talking about it.
Yeah, we need to spread the word.
Share what we're learning.
Tell your friends. Tell your family.
Talk about it on social media.
Yeah, get people talking.
Raising awareness is so key.
The more we talk about it, the more it becomes part of the solution.
Be the change you want to see in the world,
Right?
or talk about the change you want to see in the world.
I love that.
We need to normalize these conversations
We do.
about climate change and renewable energy.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a niche topic.
It shouldn't.
It affects us all.
It does.
We all have a role to play
We do.
in creating a more sustainable future.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about normalizing these conversations, making it okay to talk about climate change and renewable energy.
It's not a niche topic anymore.
No, not at all.
It affects everyone.
It does.
We all have a part to play
Right.
in creating that more sustainable future.
Exactly.
And that brings us to the end
Okay.
of our deep dive
Wow.
into renewable energy.
Time flies.
It really does.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm leaving this conversation feeling really hopeful.
Me too.
What about you?
Yeah, this UN report is so well done.
It is.
It lays out the challenges,
Mm-hmm.
but it also shows all the incredible opportunities we have in front of us.
It's a good reminder
It is.
that the future isn't set in stone.
Right.
We have the power to shape it.
With our choices and actions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to our listeners, we want to leave you with this.
Okay.
Now that you've heard about the benefits
Mm.
of renewable energy and how urgent this is,
Yeah.
what steps are you going to take
In your own life.
in your own life or in your community
Yeah.
to support the growth of renewable energy?
What can you do?
What can you do? Every action, no matter how small,
Right.
can help create that brighter and more sustainable future.
Absolutely.
We encourage you to check out the UN report.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
We'll link it in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
Connect with organizations
Yeah,
that are working on climate solutions.
for sure.
And most importantly, take action.
Just something.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thanks for listening.
on this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.
Until next time, stay curious.
Stay curious.
And keep exploring.
Keep exploring.